Hey, welcome back to the studio. My name is Weston, also known as Arcane Anthems. Let's talk about the new D&D 2024 Monster Manual. This is the D&D 2014 Monster Manual I bought before I ran my first game in 2015. It was my first time playing D&D as a DM or a player, and I metaphorically devoured it. It was the book I brought to every session, and the one that lived on my nightstand when I was riddled with insomnia. That was a magical time for me, discovering a hobby that would evolve into something much greater. This is the 2024 Monster Manual, and Wizards of the Coast sent me an early copy. Full disclosure, this is not sponsored, and they set no expectation for me to make content with it. Now, the book is enormous and contains something like 500 monsters in it. Now, I did not go through every single monster and compare it to the last edition. These are just my thoughts on how the book is organized and the improvements that I've seen with it, hopefully to inform a better decision-making process for you. The most exciting thing about any of these source books is the art. Now, the art in the 2014 Monster Manual has great monster design, but in the 2024 version, art is now a storytelling tool. Let's compare the 2014 bullet art with the 2024 rendering. We see the grass being utterly annihilated, the gravel exploding upwards, and a massive dust cloud that forms, obscuring vision. The destruction that these creatures leave in their wake completely scars the ground behind them. We even see a wind vane and a small brick platform flying off to the side, which suggests to me a farmer whose field and crops are being destroyed by these creatures, leading to food shortages in the village or city nearby. It's an instant plot point. Also, in 2024, we see monsters actively using their spells and abilities. Here, we see the bullet leaping into the air, mouth agape, tongue lashing, claws massive and intimidating. In additional examples, you'll see what these actions actually look like, making it easier to be more narrative in your descriptions during combat. Thirdly, we can even see the monsters engaging with adventurers. In this case, we see a person being flung completely into the air, and we can expect it does not look good for them on their way down. This illustrates how the DM should strive to make the encounter feel for their players. With a bullet, you want them to feel like they're being tossed to and fro like a pinball, never knowing who might be Jack in the Box next into the air. By simply paying close attention to the art, I'm easily able to come up with entire adventures and plot points and one-shots. The next thing that I noticed the most were taglines. Blessed be the taglines, the TLDR of the Monster Manual. These little adjective blurbs must have been so much fun to come up with. They describe the bullet as ravenous subsurface land sharks and the bullywug as amphibious appreciators of marsh and muck. You instantly know what these creatures are all about and if they fit what it is you're looking for. This saves on prep time and makes navigating the entire monster library even easier. Ooh, now let's talk about treasure tables. As a DM, I don't like to know everything. I like to be surprised. It's why I use a lot of D100 tables in my games. One of my biggest weaknesses as a DM is giving out magic items. I do it, but it takes up so much mental space. Adding treasure to each monster gives DMs a useful way to give their players items that connect to the monsters they just conquered. All this with less prep time and more randomized fun. Note, I don't like that the actual treasure tables live in the Dungeon Master's Guide instead of the Monster Manual. It's not even so much about the cost of two different books compared to one, which is a valid criticism, but books are heavy, and dragging multiple books with you from session to session is troublesome. And I mean, maybe that's another case for D&D Beyond. Regardless, it's a very nice to have feature and helps me make encounters feel more rewarding, especially when few people are handing out XP anymore. Milestone, baby! The next thing I noticed were the new tiers of monsters for every level. They've added dozens of both lower and higher tier threats from popular monster groups in order to make them more easily playable no matter the level of the party. This includes apex threats like the elemental cataclysm or the blob of annihilation, and lesser ones like the vampire familiars or the goblin minion. Those are great, but something new that I love and was completely not expecting were all the new descriptions for each tier of the monster groups. For example, we now have paragraphs on how specifically gold dragon wormlings, young gold dragons, adult gold dragons, and ancient gold dragons all behave differently. And this covers all dragons, based on their chromatic or metallic alignment and their age. This level of detail extends to every other creature type as well. As DMs, this makes it infinitely easier to make each tier of monster feel dramatically different based on their classifications, and make the game feel more varied, even when interacting with similar creatures. There's also great organizational tools. The book is now alphabetized. When I looked in the 2014 Monster Manual for Bullet, I couldn't find it. I had to look into the index to look for Bullet and then find what page it was on, because that one's not in alphabetical order. Additionally, there are other organizational tools, 60 monster conversions from 2014 to 2024 for your different encounters, monsters by habitat, organized by creature type, organized by group, and also organized by CR rating. The book makes improvements across the board, and after 10 years, makes a very compelling argument to upgrade. But really, only you can make that decision. Thank you so much to my sponsor, you all, who helped me on my Patreon make D&D music and videos like these. If you like this video or you didn't like this video, you want to give me some constructive feedback, you can throw that down below in the comments. And if you'd like to see more videos like this or some D&D music, feel free to subscribe. As always, I'll see you next time, and remember, your stats won't save you, but a good song might. See ya.